In this video, we get a tiny glimpse of what life is like on the remote islands of the Tuamotus.
You and me, we're family. The bond that we share is as deep as the sea. No matter how rough things may come to be, you and me, we're family. Sing ho, hey.
It's really fascinating to see how people kind of manage the resources around here. You know, every house has got these massive water drums which run off the gutter and from the roofs, obviously to collect water. And all the coconuts are kind of piled up as well. They obviously kind of have quite a coconut industry here, and even the husks are used as kind of mulch around the trees, the fruit trees.
So these silver kind of shields that you can see, from what I read, these are for stopping the rats getting up to the coconuts, because a lot of their revenue comes from coconuts.
There's pearl farming going on as well. So basically they kind of put the oysters in the water. There's like a little visitor centre back there, but it's closed at the moment, so I'm hoping to kind of learn a bit more about that. Not so many solar panels actually, I'm not quite sure where they get the power from.
There were a few on the dock, but then we discovered more later.
It's just interesting from an autonomous living perspective of how people kind of survive on these like little atolls with very little contact with the outside world. I mean, there's a supply ship that comes in every week, but the population isn't that huge. So I suppose the cruisers here keep things ticking over as well.
So we're just walking along and we're off to get some bikes, but I'm just absorbing what life is like in this sort of in the middle of nowhere little atoll of Fakarava in the Tuamotus, and watching kind of life go by really. You can see that it's actually an absolute paradise really. I'm also struck with how clean everything is. Gardens are really well kept, houses are really cute, and you don't see any plastic washed up unless there is and they've picked it up. Kids playing out on the streets, people swimming. Nice to feel about it. We're off to Ewan.
Oh, we're going cycling! Woo!
This is like nothing like the Marquis. So here we've got location bike rental. How's that, Ewan? Oh, you've got like a BMX.
This isn't a BMX.
Okay, we're just coming up to Scott and his crew. They're on the other Amel. So we're going to wave at them as we go past. Hi, Scott. Okay, they're the guys that we were worried about. We were buddying with kind of on the way and we all lost each other. But they've arrived, so it's good.
So we've come ashore to do some shopping for the kids' birthday. It just strikes me how well organised it is here, you know, just for the cruisers. The dinghy dock is really smart and free. There's a rubbish collection, recycling.
On an island like this, waste has to be managed very carefully and everybody has to take responsibility for their own waste.
Petrol station just behind me. We got the ever-present scooters. But yeah, it's so well organised, and it just makes life so much easier for cruisers when you come here. So not a lot of facilities for the amount of cruising boats, but enough to keep the locals happy, I think. Buying provisions and knickknacks, and there is a few restaurants, but like as we found in the Marquesas, it's all very expensive. A little bit beyond our budget, but yeah, it's lovely. It's absolutely idyllic.
Okay, we just come to the big lighthouse, and we're just going to the other side of the island, which is where we came from really, so we can see how much more kind of choppy it is and rough and the surf that breaks on the other side of the island.
Funny how like everything is focused on the inside of the atoll and not on the outside. I mean, you can barely reach the beach on that side. There's kind of a rough track, but no obvious way to get to the beach, which is just basically a coral beach. Everything's focused sort of inside. So the Tuamotus is where the French did their nuclear testing, mainly in the 60s and 70s, although I think they did it right up until the 90s. And there's still claims for compensation going on even to this day amongst the Polynesians. And I've just noticed there's a notice board outside the supermarket here, and it's got a list of all the cancers to look out for and where the nuclear fallout went and what islands it affected at the time. And it's really weird, it's still having an effect today, maybe sort of like 50 years after the first one was tested. But it's weird to think that these beautiful islands are actually used as a testing ground for nuclear bombs. Nuclear testings that went on, and these are the cancers to look out for. So we're going to carry on to the southern entrance this morning because we heard there's some really good drift diving and drift snorkeling. It's really calm. It's like perfect sailing weather when you get a breeze, because like it's like a lake inside, flat calm, but like a nice steady breeze. So yesterday I made some fresh brioche dough because we got all the small butter. So just taking it out of the fridge and let it rest for an hour, and now I'm going to put it in the oven and we're going to have fresh brioche and coffee for breakfast. The island's really thin. I mean, you can walk from one side to the other within a couple of minutes.
Okay, so we're just going along Whakarava, and like there's these really random channels which, to be quite honest, you can't really just stick to them because there's bommies, these like very shallow bits of coral all the way along them. So and even if you stray from the kind of not really channel anyway, you see these shallow patches and bommies in them. It's much more tricky than the sandblast, I would say. Anyway, so I've kind of this massive squall came through, and I saw this turquoise bit up ahead. It doesn't say anything about very shallow water up there, and it actually says it's 16 meters. So and actually Woody was saying, oh, it's just 16 meter. I thought we don't normally see light blue turquoise at 16 meters, and actually, so I swerved away from it, and actually as we swerved away, it was actually quite a large patch of coral and very shallow water, so we kind of got out of the way of that. Luckily we could see it because the visibility went right down as well and the squall came through. So Woody's back on the bow now in his swimming costume, and he's checking out. It's better obviously if he's in the bow, and if he sees anything then I can slow down or swerve. Kind of nice to get a bit of rain. It's washing the salt off the boat, and yeah, we're carrying on now towards the South Anchorage, which is where we're going today. The reef that goes around the outside, it sort of had breaks in it, so I guess they have to travel by boat really if they want to go to the main part of Whakarava, and if they want to fly out. That's it, life on Mothership today.
I never dreamt of a lifestyle like this. Well, here's some really exciting news for you. You can have access to comprehensive guidance crafted by us, Irenka and Woody, seasoned world cruisers, yachting instructors and parents. We've taught thousands of people how to sail, and as a cruising family, we've sailed tens of thousands of miles across the world's oceans.
Now you can access that knowledge from our Patreon platform. So, if you want to shift your life from traditional school and work towards boat schooling, remote working, minimalist living, and a remarkable life experience, then find out how by visiting www.mothershipadrift.com or click on the links in the description below. See you out there.
Here we are then, we have arrived on the South Anchorage of Whakarava.
So I came ashore to go for a walk with the kids, but they kind of got as far as the beach and that was it. They were kind of entertained, so I've had to carry on the rest of the way myself. So I've gone around the island and actually found my way onto the outer reef. There's a couple of shallows which are no sort of deeper than waist deep, and yeah, it's interesting the things you see. And I saw like a lot of hermit crabs feeding on a dead bird, which was quite unusual. And there's this kind of like pile of coral, just coral bits. It's amazing. Like you always see all these like shards of coral that have just built up into this mound, and it's really interesting. I think there's some of these are kind of probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years old, of bits of old fossilized coral. So Erica likes to come ashore and do a bit of yoga in the morning where we can, but she seems to have attracted the attention of the local island dogs. I find it quite fascinating, but it's great walking along, like walking a little bit into the interior, because there's still people who live here, even though we're sort of about 30 miles away from the airport of Fakarava. It's a very, very long island. It's like I say 35 miles long, I think, and we're about 6 miles away from the southern entrance. But it's just interesting seeing the contrast as well. There's a super yacht anchored maybe 100 yards offshore. And just on shore there's these people living sort of this very sort of subsistence living. They've got a solar powered pump feeding from a well, and obviously doing the water collection as well, and running their little business. So I think it's a kite surfing business. But obviously on a day like today there's no business because there's no wind. But just seeing how they live, you know, they've got the little small holdings. There's a couple of little graves there as well, obviously sort of family members. It's very much autonomous living, you know. There's just very little from the outside world, and what they have got here they kind of obviously utilize as well, you know, like bean cans and anything they can, because obviously you've got to get things from Tahiti to the main town, and then the main town down to here, which is a long supply chain for anything. But it's so peaceful as well. So all you can hear is the sound of the waves on the other side of the island. The contrast between the rich and poor, you've got the super yacht people out there, and then you've got the island people here, you know, and the contrast couldn't be any more greater. But it does make you wonder who is the happier, you know. You need a multi-million-pound yacht with a whole team of staff to provide for your needs, or do you just have an island with a few coconut trees and a few fishing pots?
Shame back and forth through all those years, but finally we both are free. I threw my baggage overboard and let it go. I cut the cord. You're all that I've been waiting for, so let's go. Are you in or are you not? I won't block the door, but tick-tock, if you are gonna take a shot, then come at me with all you got around. Just let me go.
I went over to the reef and I stood on one of the sharp rocks. They're very sharp.
Let me go. Through all the years came so near, but something was always in the way. But now we're clear. It's only you and me here. The stars
So stay tuned for more adventures as we sail around the world. If you want to find out how to fix your boat, go to our Mothership maintenance channel, and if you've got any questions you want to ask us, join our Patreon family.
I had a dream last night about a boat. It was pink and green with stripy